You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Hey, you text my phone like you are you home? You don't wanna be alone. I swear the way we broke up the other day, I'm gonna look the other way. I'm on the way. Sound in your bed, why you taking off your shirt? It's November, are you tryna get this word? Okay, I bought food, are you tryna be dessert? Don't know what to do, why'd you go and kiss me? Please don't mean I like you. I still wanna fight you. Oops, your underwear how much I like all the time that I've been spending with you, I've been painting pictures, making bad decision figures. We were supposed to take some time off, but your figure is just so soft. I just gotta get my finger off the trigger. How I stop myself from really fucking with you. Damn, I gotta get my mind off. Why'd you have to play that R&B? Now slowly undressing, it's so natural. Know you've got that playlist on repeat. Now it's slow kissing to D'Angelo. Please don't mean I like you. I still wanna fight you. Oops, your underwear came off like autumn holiday. Hey, how much I like. Can't think about it enough. You know I can't think about it enough. About enough. You know I can't think about it enough. Babe, how did this escalate? It's sexy as I wanna escape. Will this ever fade away?
You are now listening to Honey Drop on iLive Radio.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to Honey Drop this Sunday here on iLive Radio. I am really excited to be here to share what I have with you today, y'all. It's a really, really big evening or afternoon here on Honey Drop. I had the opportunity this morning to sit with an artist that I have been following and vibing off of and attaching myself to her sound for quite some time now. And I had the honor and the pleasure to sit down with the one and only Emmavie out of the UK today. And today is very much a day all about this particular powerhouse of an artist. She is not only singer, songwriter, but also a producer, a beat maker, right? So you know how I do each and every Sunday, there's a producer that's featured for the evening, and for this evening, for this afternoon, that feature and that spotlight completely today is all on Emmavie, all right? I'm not going to tell you too much about
This is Atina, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
We have a really, really healthy and hearty conversation coming up for you in a little while, so you're just going to have to stay locked. And we're going to get to know, or you're going to get to know all about who she is and what creates this absolutely incredible sound that I share with you pretty much weekly, to be really honest. All right, so definitely stay locked for that. All right, now, so today's Sunday, and it is the fourth Sunday of the month. And what that means is that we have just passed the fourth Friday of the month, and as you know, each fourth Friday for us is Soul Fest Lounge. Right, this past Friday, the place was on fire with our own Ray Robinson. If you log in or you tune into iLiveRadio.com on a daily basis, as you should, of course. On Mondays, you know that Ray holds down that 7 to 8 spot with Artist to Artist. Now, if you are a Torontonian, and truly those in the UK now at this point, you've been exposed to Ray, the artist, and he took over the stage this past Friday, and once again it was a really, really beautiful night. The vibes were on point, food was on point, drinks were on point, people looked good, and everybody had a really, really nice time, and I had ridiculous amounts of fun as well. All right, another special thing that I have to share with you before we get rocking into it. Yesterday, an iLive original iLive staple, and he's very much the quiet giant in the back, but Jez, I won't give out your birthday, but you're old, but Jez's birthday was yesterday, and I just want to send out the highest of blessings to you on your birthday, man. You're a really, really true friend, and you know, I love you like cook food. I tell you so all the time. So bless up, and I hope you're having a good birthday, Jez. All right, man. Let's get into this thing. We are going to start this evening here with a few tracks before we get into the interview, just so you can get a feel for the sound of Emmavie before we jump into to the interview. All right. This track, or the first track actually, that I started with was one. She actually, it was a track that picked up really nicely, got a lot of acclaim for it, and it's with an artist named Aaron Kent. The track is called Oops, and in that capacity, she produced that particular track. So already you can see that we're in for a serious vibe, all right? She's worked with a lot of past Beats Beneath featured producers, so the sound tonight is just going to be silky through and through, all right? You got to stay with me, stay locked, and we're going to do that thing. So let's get into some music. I'm not going to hold you up anymore. This one we're going to get into. This is a track produced by Rom Defoe. Rom, Beats Beneath of the past. This track, big tune. It's one with Jero Vandal, track called Murder. And that's where we're going to start our afternoon today. All right, y'all? Make sure you stay locked to iLive Radio. Whether you're on the web, whether you're on the Google Play apps or the iTunes iOS app, stay locked. Today is not a day to go missing. All right? This is Lucia Dee on iLive Radio.
Honey Drop.
This ain't right. I wanna whisper in your ear and tell you all the things that you like and keep you up all night. And this ain't fair, 'cause you see I'm pulling out my hair. I'm dazed and confused and I really can't think. All I can do is pour more of this drink. I'll pour another rosé. A little bit of, I don't know, I had too many. 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 20. A little bit of you, baby. It's plenty. I poured up the My girls keep telling me that it's time that I away. And I'll leave, but I'll be back by Sunday. Pour it up, pour it up, pour it up, yeah. Baby, it's murder. Got me going in circles. I know. This ain't come back, baby. Same thing, cause the drink's giving me more love. You don't ever come, so I put more Henny in my cup. You don't ever call, you don't ever ring. You don't ever call, you don't ever ring. You made me pour a little rose, a little bit of, I don't know how. 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 20. A little bit of you, baby, that's plenty. I pulled up the car. I don't even know what I'm saying now. I'll just let the words come off the brain now. I had a little drink and now I'm swaying now. I know that it's murder, baby, it's murder. You got me going in circles, I know.
Honey Drop. Honey Drop. The beat's beneath.
Some days I wanna run away. I swear there ain't no reason to stay. There's only pain in this place. Now won't you meet me in the middle today? And I've been too afraid to break it off. Maybe it's cause I'm too soft. Today's the day that I walk away before it gets too late. falling into you, into you, into you, into you. You're feeling like heaven to me. You're feeling like heaven to me. You're feeling like heaven to me. Tell me, did I die? You're feeling like heaven to me. You're feeling like heaven to me. You're feeling like heaven to me.
Honey
Tell me,
drop.
did I die? And I refuse to believe that our hand is weak. I don't think we've reached our peak. So I can show you just how I'm still into you. I'm still into you. I'm still into you. I'm still into you. Are we really coming to an end? Isn't a thing I can do to me? I should have listened, 'cause now I'm still into you. I'm still into you. I'm still into you. I'm still
Honey drop.
feeling like heaven to me. Feeling like heaven to me. Feeling like heaven to me. Tell me, did I die? Feeling like heaven to me. 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 Feeling like heaven.
This one here, a track called Doe by Emmavie. Stay locked, y'all. We got a long way to go. Up next, within the next 5 minutes, we're going to jump into that interview with Emmavie and learn a little bit about this artist that definitely has me, I don't know. I dig her sound, entranced by it all, and learning a little bit more about where it came from definitely solidified that, so make sure you stay locked, all right? This last track I'm going to play before we get into the interview is one that she has produced, so vocals by her, production by Emmavie, and the track, no, it's not by her, excuse me, the track is called Her. The artist is Xylo, and Emmavie, of course, has produced this one, all right? Stay locked. This is Honey Drop here on iLive Radio, and yeah, we're here.
Honey drop.
Honesty, honestly, some could tell you I'm the bearer of bad news, and now I gotta show you something. I can't lie to you, trying to breathe but I can't move. You've been feeling the way too. We can't deal with it anymore. Try to save the feud, keep it cool, we're really clashing. You're all talking of action. I swear I could've seen it coming. There's no chemistry, you can't see all that I'm asking. I won't go in the fast lane. You try following me, but I can see the way I'm turning down this highway. All that I'm after is a change of direction. You go yours and I go
The beats for me.
Keep, how could you blame me? We ain't after the same thing, and it's clear it won't be enough. You're so hard to please, honestly. How can I do that? I decided to fall back, and now you're trying to pull me over. Would you take me over to the side? Comment on how I was driving, but I ain't here for the ride. I'd rather do it my own way. You be passing all the lights, and I'll be here taking my time. No, you try following me, but I see the way I'm turning down this highway. All that I'm after is a change of direction. You go yours and I go my way. All that I'm after is a change of direction.
Up next, I'm going to get into it with Emmavie here in the studios earlier this morning. And it's about that time, y'all. This is Honey Drop here on iLive Radio. Up next, my special guest.
The beat's spinning. Honey Drop. The beat's spinning.
Change your direction. You go yours and I'll go my way. 'Cause all that I'm after is a change of direction.
Honey Drop.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
All right, y'all. You're tuned into Honey Drop here on iLive Radio. You know me, Lucia Dee, of course. But what is much more important right now is who is sitting across from me today. Out of Harrow, UK, singer, songwriter, today's Beats Beneath featured producer, the so soulful Emmavie Blessings.
Hi, hello.
Wow, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely appreciate it. I have so many directions I want to go with you because I am very much, I'm going to call myself a fan. I'll be honest, I'll just throw it out there. I've been listening to you for a really long time. You've done music with a lot of producers that I have a lot of interest in.
Yeah.
And your sound alone is one that, pierces me on a few levels, right? So folks that are here, they know that I'm very feelish with my music. So what I'm spinning, I'm feeling it in some way. It's got to attach me in some way. Yeah. And your sound comes back to me all the time. So first, I think what I want the people to know is who you are, where you're coming from, and where the beginnings of Emmavie came from.
I'm kind of just me at the moment. I think I've done a lot of soul searching very recently and trying to go back to where I came from. Mm-hmm. In terms of music, it was just me as a kid listening to my dad's mixtapes in the car, and that was a lot of like neo soul, R&B. And I was probably about 11 years old when I first started making beats, because I was just so intrigued by production and especially harmony when I'd listen to certain songs and hear two voices singing different notes but blending together. So I started writing then. And then after that, it's like the singing thing for me was I was pretending to be able to sing because I was terrible when I started.
You're kidding.
I was like the worst. Literally, I don't even feel like I'm that much of a singer now, but I've just kind of, I guess, taught myself and trained myself, and then it's practice, been obsessed with music. So my obsession turned to, luckily, my profession. And then it's just, you said it's about, you like to feel music, and that's it for me. I wasn't always the sort of person that would do it, become classically trained, or I didn't even learn my theory, to be honest. I was just so obsessed with listening to music and feeling it, and that's kind of what caught me in, and then I jumped into that wave. So that's kind of where I came from.
Wow. Yeah. That's kind of, I wasn't expecting that the production and such came before.
Yeah.
The singing. You also DJ, I know that.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting part as well, is that you're self-trained.
Yeah.
As a DJ.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
It's probably been about 3 years now. It always feels longer because I only ever really get to practice when I'm going to have a set.
Right.
Because I'm never at home DJing, very rarely anyways. And then I never get a chance. I never get a break. That's how I feel. I never get a DJ break. Whenever I have a break to practice, it's usually for production, and especially for singing and writing, because I feel like actually DJing for me is where I get to enjoy music a lot more. Whereas when it comes to writing and producing, I don't know, I put a different kind of pressure on myself. And then there's things like writer's block. I never get DJ block. I can always play music because I enjoy it so much and I have so much of it. But when I have the time to practice, or if I have that free time, I kind of always put that to production, because I'm always like, oh, there's so many great producers. Obviously, there's so many better singers than me and songwriters. So I focus my energy there, and DJing is like my escape. I just a release. Yeah. Exactly.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I can relate. I am completely not self-taught. Sessions had to teach me the first thing, but completely self-taught. So when I saw, I was digging into your background, I was like, that's interesting. Still, because you're playing in some really big spots.
Nice. Thankfully, I think I've had more than anything. I always think my DJing has been carried by the fact that people like my songs. Like, I've never really put out mixes, but I played parties, and I played then just random hotel lobbies and fancy hotels and just that sort of stuff. So I think I've been lucky that my music has allowed me to enter that space quite easily. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, being the producer first or the beat maker first, creating the sound, it's an interesting proposition because most musicians or most artists that you're hearing, they're either singer or they're the producer. They're not on both sides of that fence.
Yeah.
Does that assist in the way that you put your songs together and the way your sound comes out? Because it's very unique. Speaking, when you spoke of the harmonies, that's the one thing that I'm absolutely drawn to about your sound, is that these beautifully put together harmonies that carry you.
Yeah.
Does your beat making assist in that or help in that?
Definitely. I think I have a producer mind when approaching songwriting because I'm always obsessed with how the layers fit together and how you put together a song like you would just a puzzle or something. And I think what I find with a lot of maybe singers that aren't so much into production and especially aren't so beat focused, so maybe they're more piano and guitar focused, is that actual production really, it helps with rhythm. So I find that I'm probably more obsessed with the pocket, like where my vocal sits, where my how my cadence is, like a rapper would be more so, because they're more beat driven. So I think as a singer and approaching vocal arrangement like that, production it influences my writing a lot, and it's I'd say it's definitely the driving force.
Yeah, it definitely. Saying that definitely makes sense. Like when I think about how you fit into it, and that's what it is. Because my favorite hip hop songs is when that MC is right in that pocket.
Exactly,
right.
Me too.
And that's the way your vocals come. You're hitting in spaces. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
The songwriting side of it, I find that there's so many layers to it and message and meaning behind a lot of it. Your first release, Love Hater. That was sort of a journey. It was almost like you kind of outside of yourself with this love story and going through the phases of that story. How did you come to that idea and how did you put that together? Because it's a story.
It is. I think I always kind of I changed the theme of it so much because initially I was working on an album, which is crazy because I've come back to it now, and that was in 2013. I probably started the recording of that. 2012 is when I had the idea to put it out, but some of those songs were from Jealous on there. Jealous was when I was 17. So it was literally, that was 2007 then for that project. So you can think I had songs that I didn't have a plan for them. They weren't all supposed to be together. But then what I found a lot is that I was writing love songs about more fantasies I was having as opposed to actual real relationships. And that's why I thought actually this is a story of when you're more obsessed and you're creating an ideal in your mind of how relationships go, not so much a reflection of what my true relationships were. But then some of them, because during my teenage years up until my early 20s, I was in I'd say quite a serious relationship. I was super young, so now when I think about it, it's just I wasn't myself. So then a lot of that stuff is juvenile, and I think that when I was listening to the music and when I listen to it now, I'm just it's crazy, it's all over the place, it's really experimental, it changes too many times for one song. Do you know what I mean? It's just is this the same song on every track? So I thought actually it would be best when putting that project together to create that character and use the songs to do that journey of being obsessed with someone from a distance and kind of telling yourself you have something with them and you're in a relationship even though you're not. You're kind of just looking at them from a distance, and that is what Love Hater is. So it's it is someone actually hallucinating more so,
like a demented story.
It's like that, because I think a lot of songwriters do that. Is I can't only ever write about what I've lived, because at that point when I was 17 I hadn't really lived one, so I'd be writing some really just intense love songs about maybe a fling I'd have at 16, 17, but the song would make it sound like I was married for 10, 15 years or something like that.
And that age, everything is intense, right? 60,
exactly.
Someone gives you a kiss, it's like
exactly, this person want to marry, want to have kids. I remember being in the relationships at that time and saying we were going to get married, and it's just like, wow, do I even talk to those people anymore? I don't even know them anymore. So that's how it is when you're that young. And then approaching music and approaching songwriting, and everything I was listening to was talking about love in that way, because I've always listened to R&B and neo soul, and that is like I think for me anyways, the most beautiful way that I've seen love displayed. So then I was just that's kind of where it came from.
That's interesting as hell. So there's definitely an evolution when you go through the years, and you've worked with some of my favorites. Really, you've done some tracks with Rom, with Emmavie. You yourself have produced for Mary Dahlstrom,
who I'm out here with right now, actually. So Marie is like, they're probably around Toronto somewhere at the moment, but we're out here for her songs right now.
That's wicked. That's wicked. And Alchemist, who I featured just a few weeks ago.
Nice.
And it was a very difficult show because I have to contain it into this 2-hour gap. But with Alpha, good Lord, like you can pull from so many directions. But I kept coming to the tracks that you guys were doing together. And there was a huge difference between what I felt and took from like Love Hater, and then what I felt within Epoch, right? Big difference in that. And then even when Alpha just released his latest album, your tracks on there as well. There's a definite growth and evolution. Is that sort of from learning what you did going through the other tracks, or is that just growth as you as a musician, producer, and everything sort of coming out?
I think I always say, whenever anyone asks me about Alpha, is he brings something out of you that you wouldn't know even existed. Because one, the way he plays chords is so unique to him that if you've ever written songs like me, I've written songs to beats on YouTube, beats on SoundCloud that I don't know who produced it, and it gives you different feels, it brings different things out of you. But I would never have had an opportunity to have written to an Alchemist instrumental or piano progression. So I've had no practice, and then you go into that situation and he has this really it's a really deep and moody sound, but it's so beautiful at the same time that you have to approach that. Like, it makes you vulnerable because it's not easy, but it's so easy to listen to at the same time. So I found it definitely pushed me, and it's weird because it pushed me, but the songs would happen so quickly. I find that like I can hear some beats that I love or hear some instrumentals that I love, and maybe it will take me a few days to feel, okay, I have the idea for it. But with Alpha, as soon as he put his fingers on the piano, the song came out, and I would look at myself and I wouldn't even know where those songs are coming from. And I think that's why Epoch was so special to me and to him too, because like when we talk about it, we know we had something good there. Even if we were both, like, that was our introduction to each other, because when we started that project, we'd only known each other probably about a year in that time, because we went to the same university, and we were just on the same course, but he was a year above me. And we were just kind of not forced together, but it was like we came together because first of all, we're one of the few black people on the course that like does force you together in the first place, in terms of just like the common interest, in terms of what you're listening to and the sound that you're trying to create whilst you're studying. But I mean, that whole time of life when you're around different musicians and you're forced to grow and develop, that it created that Epoch sound for us. Because Alpha's done, obviously, since then, he's gone more in the live. And I remember even talking to him about that, specifically in, I don't know if you know Barney Artist, but in Barney's house, I said to him, the next thing you do, you have to go live with it, because like Alpha's one on piano is amazing, but he knows how to arrange everything. And then also we just had a good circle of like amazing musicians around, and I always just knew actually an Alpha Mist album, like a real one, is gonna be a live arrangement sort of thing. And he went away and did that, and you really hear what Alpha sounds like when it's not just Alpha's beautiful chords and bass line and then just a simple boom bap beat. It's him and some of the best musicians, definitely in the UK, but and so it's also in the world, with who he's collaborated with since. Like, we've both gone in maybe in different directions, but we've both grown since and taken like Epoch with us to those different places.
Wow. Now, when you for the most part, you produce, you write, you mix, you do your music yourself. When you work with another producer like an Alpha, is there any ego within you, you know, having these two beat makers in the same room? Does that ever happen, or do you surrender? Because I find his music makes you want to surrender. You have to. Do you surrender to what he's giving to you? 100%.
There's certain. Actually, in most sessions like that, when I go in and I'm working with producers, I let them be the producer, because I want. What tends to happen is someone might pull out some beats and be like, "These are the ones I had that I thought were for you," and I prefer to get that producer's sound when they're not thinking of me, because a lot of people will try and maybe emulate Alpha Mist or something like that, because they'll be like, "Oh, we loved Epoch, here are the beats that we have that are similar to that." But I actually just want producers to do them, and then because it brings something out of me that like I don't already know. Like I said, with working with Alpha, I hadn't ever written to anything that sounded like that, and we ended up with Epoch, an EP that was really stylized in that way. So I want to do that whenever I work with different producers, have an opportunity to make a brand new song, as opposed to just remaking the same tunes. So that's why I always just say, as a producer, just do you. Don't even think about the music you've heard of mine before, because I will jump on not everything, but I will always like want to try something different. So I just surrender in those situations.
Okay, so let's talk now about where we are going. Right? You have released 2 tracks off of your upcoming, and it's a debut album for you. Is how it's out there. One, I guess, what the time frame to get there? What's behind the time frame for this to be finally okay? Let me put this out. Honeymoon is the upcoming album. And tell me a little bit about that. How we walked towards Honeymoon and what that is, what that journey was.
It's such a long story, because it's definitely 2019 is like finally. That's like my the headline is just finally it's out, because some of the songs on Honeymoon were made even before Love Hater. Like the intro was supposed to go on. If you think about Love Hater was 2013 and we're 2019 now. The intro of my album I made and it was supposed to go on Love Hater. There's another song called Can't Get Over You, which I wrote at the same time as Jealous when I was 17, but I've I've revamped it since, because it would have sounded kind of a bit rubbish, but then but at the same time, like the album Honeymoon was essentially finished in 2015 when I signed it to, not finished because it's been tampered with since, but I didn't, definitely after 2017 I stopped messing with it and just thought the more time we spend not finishing it, the longer it was going to take to come out. Then I kind of went away and did other things, because when I was doing Love Hater, it was supposed to be for an album that I was working on then, like in and out of university, and just before that time, called Addictive Personality, which I just turned into like a lifelong thing. where I released 2 other songs, or 3 songs, I guess, that would have been on that project, which is Oops, Letter, and Rather Be, which are really kind of like just in a world of their own.
Yes.
So Addictive Personality is just like where I get to be whoever I want to be sonically, in terms of genre as well. So it can go from jazz to R&B to trap to indie to rock, and Addictive Personality does that. And in the journey from Honeymoon to Addictive Personality, it's like some songs have come off of Honeymoon and gone there. Obviously, some of the songs ended up on Love Hater in 2013. But yeah, it was just a really, I don't know, life just one gets in the way of doing music, because I think life is not more important, but it is. There have been times where I put music in front of everything, and like that isn't realistic. I had to go away and live. I had to go and find myself. I had to go and like have relationships, have family interactions, study, work, just normal things. So then maybe there were times years ago which that would have been the perfect time to drop the album, but at the same time I feel like I've never been the person that I am right now.
Right.
And like even just in terms of the like my autonomy, my self-awareness for one, and the clarity in terms of the direction that I want to go in, and the decisions that like I feel I'd make now compared to then. Like I have just a bit more certainty on that. So I think even though the songs from Honeymoon, some of them are super, super old, I'm lucky that I wasn't making current music. I've never really just made music that sounds like right now. So then even if it sounds like the 90s, which is what it's really influenced by, it can just sound like an ode to my influences.
Yeah, it is timeless. It's definitely timeless.
Hopefully.
You mentioned this 90s feel.
Yeah.
And your first release off of Honeymoon, High Off This.
Yeah.
No Word of a Lie. That was the thought I was having. I'm like, this feels like
it's
one of those back in the day grooves. Like, yeah. Tell me about writing that song and putting that song together.
Oh, that's actually a really cool story. Initially, I feel like I should release this version, but initially, do you know Dornick?
Yeah.
Okay. Dornick, obviously, I'm his
tune with Zoe.
Yes, exactly that. Dornick, I'm his biggest fan ever. Like I always tell him whenever I see him, like his sound, because I think I'm just obsessed with people that do like that throwback, because his sound is a throwback 80s kind of sound.
Definitely.
We went to university together with Alpha as well, so we all kind of spent like 3 years studying. Obviously it was probably like some of the toughest time of our life, because when you're in uni you're kind of like lost, and you don't feel like you should really be there when you're doing music, because you realize that like maybe school and music, they didn't really come together at the same but we had our times where we realized that we had this mutual love for like a sound. So Dornick had made this other beat, which I think it was called, oh man, I can't remember the name file. But I say in the chorus, I need to hear this. Wait, how can I not remember my own lyrics? That was the name of the beat. So it's like, there's probably a line in the chorus that doesn't feel, don't forget to ring the alarm. It was called Ring the Alarm. Yeah, that's it. He sent me a beat called Ring the Alarm, which was so nice. Like it was like one of my favorite beats I've ever heard, ever. I recorded High Off This to that. Initially it was so much slower. It's really like spacey. It's like Dornick. It's the stuff I love from Dornick, basically. But then I think because he signed to PMR, which made it really difficult to release stuff with his production or his features on it, because they have a release campaign for him, a strategy. He obviously had a really good like album drop, so I think it wouldn't have made sense if he was dropping songs that were super old for one. So then I just like sped it up, rewrote it to this new beat where like I'd done a real like kind of like live but 90s sample chop sound to it. And the idea was kind of like, what I'm like saying in the lyrics is, well, let's get high off of this love, is I'm using love like a drug. You're kind of saying that actually, because I think a lot of us experience love like that, where it's not even so good for you. It's like escapism, but like it feels good. And like having that interaction with people can be really intoxicating. So I just thought, let me do a party song that like it comes on aunties and uncles can dance to it. Like my mom likes the song, so I'm just like, it's important to me that like everyone can like the song, not just like 13 to 18-year-olds and stuff like that. I want it that if I put it on, my grandma will dance to it, that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
It makes people get up.
Yeah. So that's that's the vibe I was going with. Originally it was really different, but like, yeah, I just kind of sampled myself into a new song.
I dig it. So we're gonna jump in and check out that first release off of the upcoming EP Honeymoon. This track by Emmavie called Let's Get High. Yeah.
Have you ever been in love before? And it feels so good you don't wanna come down. Well, I have, and I'm addicted to the buzz, and I can't get enough. You know I never wanna give up, and I never wanted to stop. Feel you running through my body, baby. Wait to have you on my time, and I'll do anything. You know I never wanna give up. I can feel you running through my body, babe. Let's get high, babe. Let's get high, babe. Let's get high. Let's get high, babe.
All right, that was Emmavie's upcoming album, Honeymoon, dropping on August 22nd. You know what, Jersey? No, I'm going to do that all over again.
It would be so good if you just left that. Just leave it. Keep it. That's
okay, nice. Leave it. Hook that up. We're going to leave it. So that's a banger. And that feel to it, you know, the groove within that song, definitely that 90s groove and throwback. I spun that today is Sunday, Friday night at Soulfest Lounge. And I tell you the truth, I was back there grooving, and the ladies to the side of me got up and started dancing. People over here dancing.
I love that.
For me, I mean, I don't call myself a DJ yet. I spin song. I'm a curator of music. Right? I'm still learning. But that's a rush, and it's not even my tune.
Thank you.
It's a definite rush seeing that. So, big tune.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, the rest of your the album, does it have that same feel, or what are we going to experience when we hear it? Because there's so many places that you can go and you have.
I think Hive, this is really, I guess, because it has the same 90s influence, and like harmonically, the zone that I was in when I was recording that album was this like neo soul driven like melodies and harmonies and stuff, but it's quite like a broad sound. I definitely wanted to make sure it all sounded like me, because what was important, which I think has gotten lost over the years because I've done so many collaborations, is what I actually sound like. Because there's I'd say maybe 3 collaborations that I've done, or my like favorite, like most popular collaborators I work with, that have gotten so much more reach than my own like solo music. So people expect that sound of me, which is like completely fine. Like when I work with I Am Nobody and we did Deeper, which is like, it's probably done the best of all of the songs that I've ever released, but that's an I Am Nobody beat, and like even how I wrote to that was very much just specifically for his sound. But most people would know me probably for that song or Murder with Rom and Drew Vandal. So with those songs, because they've streamed so well and they went into a world that like my solo music wouldn't probably ordinarily go into, when people that maybe don't listen to all of my music, if they've ever encountered it, they'd expect to hear that from me. So I thought Honeymoon actually has to be more me, and so then I can really, I don't know, lay the foundation of who I am like sonically, and then go away and do those things. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't want to keep making the same songs over and over. So I mean, I could just, as a producer, make I Am Nobody style beats, or make Alphamist kind of beats, or make Romdeful kind of beats, just to make sure I keep that going. But then I'd get lost in that, and I find that sometimes I have had that where even I don't know, questioning myself, is my production or is my style like gonna work? Because all I know is like the reception I've gotten from the collaborations, as like not so much my own music, because I didn't put it out for so long, that simply. But yeah, actually Honeymoon is like me in so many different, like with so many different faces, but still there's like a thread of like something common that like you can tell through the songs. That's very much me.
Do you find that, I mean, because that actually has my interest piqued, because now I'm wondering, well, if this sound that I haven't been consumed or sort of submerged in, and that I relate to you, how different is Honeymoon going to be from what we're accustomed to? I know production wise, it's an exciting prospect, because, you know, I listen to songs that you know, the remix you did for her. This track you did with Marie Dahlstrom, she's out here, that one as well. They're very distinct and different sounds. How much of that is within Honeymoon, or is it completely different?
So I think very different. And I can't, it's like, I can talk about music, but I don't think you'd really get it unless you heard it. It wouldn't like paint enough of a picture, because I might say to myself it's really different, but sometimes then people listen and they're like, oh, actually I can hear you in it, even if I've gone into a different genre or something. But again, because the music is me more like 5 or 6 years ago, it was very, it was influenced by the music I was listening to then. So maybe you'd hear more like not Flying Lotus, because that's going too far, but there is definitely one track on there that I was in a Flying Lotus like zone. Then it was like early selection-y kind of vibe, but not really trap at all. There are no trap beats on Honeymoon, which is going to be odd. It's going to be really interesting to see how it does now, because everything is kind of like trap based. There are no trap songs on there whatsoever. It's all like, there's a lot of swing. There's stuff that has like kind of like a Spanishy vibe on there. Like I was really into jazz when I first started working on the project. I was really into jazz meets R&B, but like 90s R&B, that good like 90s and early 2000s, maybe like definitely Neptunes, definitely like Usher, Justin Timberlake kind of like style. So maybe like just have to hear it. I can't describe it otherwise.
Any artists featured on any songs, collaborations, anybody else coming in to put their sound to it?
In terms of vocally, there's only Ego LMA who sings on I Hope We Never Break Up, which obviously I released that like 2015, so that technically was the first single off of Honeymoon. So Ego LMA is on I Hope We Never Break Up. Daniel DT Soul. So DT Soul plays the talk box, and he plays on Distraction, which just dropped a few days ago. I can't remember the exact day. And otherwise it just has instrumentalists as features, because I don't know, I very much, like I said with the album, I wanted it to be my sound. It wasn't so much like a tactic or anything. my music has always kind of resonated more with US listeners, I guess, because it's so US influenced in terms of the R&B music and that background. In the UK, obviously there is a really unique R&B sound, which I think I am putting into this music, but there isn't a market so much for it. So when Fresh Selected approached me, and probably we started talking as early as 2014, maybe even earlier than that. They just said they wanted to put out an album with me. I never really thought of it in my mind that it'd be like my debut album. It was always just going to be a project, and I wanted a home for it. And I liked the albums that they'd released prior to that. I liked the aesthetic because it's really like, it's really specific and intentional what they do. It isn't so much driven by like, I don't know, social media popularity or anything. It's just like the sound. Everything has a really definite sound and then look to it. So yeah, it was all just kind of more accidental and just more natural. They came to me before I made the decision to approach anyone or even thought about releasing something on a label. And yeah, I think the listenership kind of just, it made sense. I'm getting just a little bit more listens in the US than I am in the UK. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Distraction. This is the second release. This one it really crept up under me because I thought I had it all. But within the past 4 days ago, Distraction came out. Tell me about this one.
Okay, so the actual theme of it it's actually about, it's so crazy to say, it's definitely about my ex-girlfriend and music as well, because I think everyone always says to me when I get into relationships, I'm in a relationship with music first and then the person second. Like I've heard that a few times, which is like, it's sad, but I also understand it because like I'm on a journey to like try and make my dreams come true, which is so important to me. But then relationships can kind of come in and sideswipe me because I'm also quite obsessed with being in a relationship. So sometimes I can get swept away in them and pulled away from everything. And like, because they're so intoxicating, because they're so like overwhelming, I just wanted to write a fun song about that, specifically about that relationship where is it good for me? I don't know what's happening because it's quite intense, or is this a distraction from like this journey that I'm going on in terms of music, how important it is for me to keep going? Because like she said to me specifically, like you're in a relationship with music first and then me second. So I was just like, is the relationship, like what am I supposed to do? That's one thing I always think, like am I actually supposed to reduce how much time and energy I put into music and like focus and really like be present in the relationship, or do I like run with music first and make that happen? Because music it's not easy. It's like 0.000 something % of people actually get to do it. Like I'm so thankful and so grateful that it's working for me and I can do music and people are actually listening. But I am torn because I want to be a good partner. I want to like settle down with someone one day and things like that. So Distraction is kind of like, it's about that. It's like, our relationships for me in general, are they a distraction from like my calling and my purpose? I don't know. That's it.
That's a good damn question.
Exactly.
You know, it's a good question. I find myself the same way. You know, a relationship will come in that high feeling. You tumble into it because you want it to be all it can be, but then everything else that you need to do is sort of falling by the way.
Exactly that.
I have to tell you, don't let that happen, okay?
We need to try.
Music, all right?
Okay, I'll try.
All right, so we're going to get into this second track, Distraction. This one released just 4 days ago off of the upcoming album Honeymoon by the most gracious Emmavie. Check this out, y'all.
You came out of nowhere. Worst timing, I was finding my way out here, but your phone's blinding. I can't understand it. Are you even from this planet? No, I don't understand it. I swear you couldn't have planned it. You got me singing na 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 na. You got me going out my mind, babe. Time, babe, cause your sugar's so divine. You got me singing na 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 na. I know my wrongs from my distraction. Yeah, baby, you know you piqued my attention. Now you know if it wasn't so obvious, you hardly escaped my thoughts. Came through me right, of course. Here's what I wanna do: spend all my time with you. Here's what I wanna do: spend all my time. I just wanna be under you, even if I try to take it slow. Babe, I'm overly fond of you, so I'm picturing you naked. Whoa, you got me singing na 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 na. You got me going on my mind, running outside. Hey, you got me singing na 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 na. And no more wrongs from my right. Got me staying up all night. Baby, running laps around my mind. Oh, baby, won't you come closer? I wanna feel you all over me. I don't know what's happening. I'm sure that you're just a distraction. Oh, baby, won't you come closer? I wanna feel you all over me. I don't know what's happening. I'm sure that you're just a distraction. Yeah, baby, you know you piqued my attention. Now you know if it wasn't so obvious, you hardly escaped my thirst. Came through me right, of course.
Just like the summer sun, baby, I can't run around you. I can't get no work done. I can't envision when you come through. Lately, I can't.
All right, y'all. That was Distraction by Emmavie. Make sure that you pre-order if you can.
You can.
You know what? First and foremost, how can people get attached to this album, get themselves set up for it to land in the inbox when it releases on the 22nd?
You can pre-order it. The thing that's super cool about Honeymoon and working with Fresh Selects is there's a CD. Yeah. I don't know if anyone's got CD players anymore. Like, I'm even looking around my house, like, I have a DVD player that can play CD, so yes. But yeah, we're doing a CD that you can pre-order now to get on the 22nd of August. And in the CD especially, it comes with a fold-out poster where I've written something quite personal to me. And yeah, there's obviously a sleeve and stuff. So I don't know, for people that like to actually be able to feel it, pre-order it now and you can get it first on the 22nd of August.
That is so appropriate, because that's the one thing that I absolutely miss about music right now, is being able to pull open, the liner notes and read, some artists would put the song lyrics, some would put letters for you in there, like messages that you have. Yeah. But just to kind of get that extra feel off the music, I want a CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get mine coming to me.
Sweet.
So you're here in Toronto for a specific purpose. You've been here actually for a while, hiding in the wings.
I have been.
But you've been putting yourself to work. What have you been doing here?
So I've been with a collective called Her Songs, which they are 5 women. Is it 5 of us? Yes, 5 women from around the world, so different cities. At the moment, we've got people from Denmark, or a person from Denmark, New Zealand, 2 of us from London, and 1 from Boston.
Yeah. So you guys put out a compilation.
So that was last year when I wasn't a part of it. So I'm like the new girl of it now, the more like beat-driven new person who's like, I've definitely affected the sound, I can say, in the last 2 weeks that we've been. Well, the first week we were here, we were recording, and the second week we were just preparing for the live show that we did on Friday.
Right.
It's 5 of us, singer-songwriters, musicians, with a task, like a challenge, if anything, because there was so little sleep. The one thing I can say we did really well was eat good. We just ate, we ate good. We ate clean as well. But we always made sure if there was no other routine, because it was really like each day was 26 hours minimum. So by the last day, you were only really getting 4 hours of sleep. We had the 7 days to produce, write, record, wrap up, mix 8 songs, and we did it, which is like, we woke up this morning like, guys, we've done it, this is our last day now today in Toronto. So in those 7 days, in 1 week, we recorded an entire album. And we converted an Airbnb, which is a really nice studio apartment. So this is actual apartment or studio apartment, I don't know what you'd call it out here, but but it's really just a gorgeous space, like big wide open space. We converted that into our recording studio and like used 2 rooms to record. Yeah, we've done an album. That's why I'm out here. It's just we haven't left the Airbnb up until now. This is like the furthest I've come away from it.
Wow.
Or we shot a music video in Scooters. Do you know Scooters Roller Disco? That place? Yeah, so we shot a video there for one of the songs we've done.
That's classic Toronto spot.
Is it? I guess that's why we had to get it, so at least you'd recognize it. We shot there in like the nighttime up until like midnight or something. And other than today, that's the furthest away we've all kind of gotten away from it. But yeah, that's why I'm out here.
I'm absolutely digging that concept. It's and we talked about here on my show, especially. I've had the opportunity to talk with Jazzy Jeff a few times.
Yeah.
Down with him.
Yeah.
And the first time being right after that initial Chasing Goosebumps, but the playlist was released, and the idea of seeing these artists come together with these all have unique attributes to them, and to put this sound, and they did 7 days, and then I think it's actually an amazing way to put music together.
Definitely,
there's so much purity that's coming, and it's right now. There's not time to listen to it and change it, then fix it up, then switch it back. How does that process of going through? You have these 2 weeks that you put down, written, recorded, and got a music video at the same time. How does that differ from the regular pace that you go at your album making?
It's so different. First of all, you have to be patient because you've got 4 other people whose ideas might be completely different when they hear the same song. You have to be completely open-minded, but quick. You have to make really quick decisions because you're trying to make a song, and a good song at that, not just anything. It's not just about having like voices down on some music. It's about every song has a message, has a purpose, and most of the time we'd have like a really deep, intense conversation at the beginning of the day, and it would influence where we're going in terms of the mood, in terms of the message we're trying to put forward. Because we have a song there even about climate change and how serious it is, because I think it's like we're all kind of just climate change, but Maria and I were even like reading up on it, and there are probably only 70 harvests left until the end of the world, which is kind of crazy, because just like to think 70 years from now all of this can be gone if we don't change. And it's just like things like that. It really probably dawned on me in this trip, because we were talking about the fact even flying is contributing to climate change. In the UK, we've had the hottest summer, the hottest last few days ever in history, like since as humans we've been on this planet. Like Europe is so hot right now that the effects are so obvious. So like taking that very real big subject and putting it into a song is like, and in one day with 5 people with different ideas and different sounds. For one, because like we've got people that will do more singer-songwriter, guitar music there, people that are more like soul-based, people more pop-based, indie rock, and then me with like hip-hop, R&B beats and really digital sound, trying to write about climate change. It's like that pressure is a lot, but then also you have so much to work from because everyone is contributing something completely different at a really high quality as well, which is really important. So I think we nailed it with some of the songs there. Like nothing sounds like these songs, and I think that's what I'm really proud of, is that we have songs that are real standalone songs and quite big songs as well. But yeah, it's completely different. There isn't the time to like ruminate on a sound and think and go back and change it. Once something is down, it is down and it stays. So even if you didn't really like your take or something like that, or you would have said something slightly different, because I think Danny, who's there, Danny Mercia, she's written a verse on one of the songs in Spanish because she's a Latina, she is Latina, but yeah. We specifically said we wanted to put our background and our like heritage into this song, which is really crazy because it's not like an emotional like different languages sort of song. It's definitely like a real R&B heavy beat sort of tune. And by the time she'd finished writing her verse and put it down, she was like, oh, maybe I would have said it a little bit differently, because I guess when you translate things from like Spanish to English, it doesn't translate exactly, but then it's still, she was happy with it, but she did say, oh, maybe I would have said that lyric a bit different. So it's like that, but once it's in, and like, yeah, that's it.
That's pretty dope. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah,
her songs. Yeah, a very, very interesting collective. I've newly bounced into them, but I'm excited that you joined that grouping. I'm looking forward to that. All right, so I know you're real excited to be releasing Honeymoon. I am excited to hear it. Yeah. As we sort of go off and I let you go explore Toronto. Yeah. What do you want to leave us with or put out into the air? And what would you want to say to an artist that has the ability to be as diverse and talented as you and trying to walk and find your way? What would you say?
Do it, for one, because I think in my personal journey there's been a lot of discouragement, probably not like actively. I don't think people have ever been like, no, you're never going to be able to do music or do this, but people will give you a lot of advice that will kind of maybe knock you off of your path a little bit, because they want the best for you in most cases. It's with good intentions, but it is really distracting. Mm-hmm. It can make you question yourself a little bit too much. It can make you change your priorities. And I think I'm going back, like I said right at the beginning, I'm going back to like, who am I really? Because when I first started music and the things that made me love it, like that got lost along the way, trying to think what's more popular though? What are people streaming heavily? What is getting more likes on Instagram and stuff like that? And in the world that we live in right now, it's so easy to be like, to prioritize those things as opposed to like happiness. Yeah. And I think freedom is something that like, I want to get it tattooed on myself. Just the word freedom, like when you put your focus on having as much freedom, so as much time and as much just openness with yourself and clarity and self-awareness, then everything else is space. There is space for everything when you have freedom. And it's one thing that actually we don't have enough of. Yeah. A lot of us can't afford even just free time, like just to live and be yourself, because then it allows you to grow. There is that space to explore who it is that you want to be without any outside influence. And then with the outside influence, at least it's positive. Yeah. I think I'd say give yourself freedom for one, and practice. Listen, as an artist, listen to everything. Don't just put yourself in a box of listening to what you see is cool and popular, because you need to, what you will find, and I think I've been lucky too, that I have a unique voice for one. Like as a woman who sometimes if you listen to my songs, like a lot of people didn't know if I was a woman or a man on certain songs, depending on what tone I went with. Yeah, true. Because I can speak down here just comfortably, but then I can also sing like really high if I want to. Yeah. Finding your own voice, practicing that, seeing how the greats have done it before, because that's the most important thing, is that you have to practice and absorb, see what's happened before. Don't just don't put yourself in a box for one, because what people are really going to resonate with is something new and something that is uniquely you. Yes. So I think that's the most important, like those are the most important messages I can give to any artist. Yeah, beautiful. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Because I think the more of you that you put within your craft and your sound, the listener on say my end, that resonates and you feel that, like songs that are you're disconnected from, and then there are some that reach out and hold you. Right now, make sure that you jump onto I guess any platform really, Spotify. I know you're there on SoundCloud. Check out the 2 new releases off of the upcoming EP, Distraction and High off this. You must do that. Any parting words, my love? Just thank you for having me. I think it's really lucky. I feel super grateful to have made it on my last day here in Toronto. It's been beautiful being here, and I'm happy that we were able to connect last minute like that and just get here first thing in the morning, because could have missed it. Thank you for your grace, and thank you so much for asking important questions. And great conversation. Absolutely. Absolutely my pleasure. There's nothing else in the world I would have done. Getting that phone call, it as soon as your name came out of his mouth, I'm like, of course, let's get this done. But I'm really, really thankful for you taking the time out and coming here on your last day. It's my pleasure. Every blessing in the world with your upcoming album and beyond. I will definitely be looking forward to hearing that album and also your release
with her songs, but definitely this project that you've been working on here in Toronto.
Yeah.
I want to see that as well. So I thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. That is the one and only Emmavie out of the UK. We're going to listen to a few more of her tracks before we roll out of here today. Stay locked, y'all. This is Lucia Dee, Honey Drop here on iLive Radio.
Honey Drop.
So many things try. Hold on to your mind when you need somebody. That's me. I can't say that I've ever been through all of those things, but I will never let you fall down. After all I said, you know now. Don't forget me when you need me. Been through everything you need deep. So when you need me, I feel like pillows soft, but I'm beating like comfort the soft like so when you need it, hearts feel like pillows soft, but I'm beating like comfort the soft like so many things right. Hold on to my hand when never really thought that you needed somebody. And even after all that, you know that you got me, and I will never let you fall down. After all I said, you know now. Don't forget me when you need me. Been through everything and need deep. So when you need don't say need soft, but I'm beating like comfort the soft like when you need hearts feel when you need me, but I'm beating like never too late.
Yes. Emmavie, this one here, this is one of my favorite tracks by her, and it truly is a much older track, about 5 years old now, but I am really, really excited to have had the opportunity to have her here with me this morning and to share that interview with you. Those of you that have been rolling with me for who knows how long know that Emmavie is a staple coming out of my sound. And to tell you the truth, to get to sit down with her, I actually take to the music so much more because there's a beauty to the human that makes me understand why the sound is as rich as it is, right? Y'all know how I get with my music, right? It takes me in my feels. So that was Emmavie. Make sure that you jump onto SoundCloud. Make sure you jump onto Spotify, follow, and pick up her new music. Make sure you pre-order. August 22nd, Honeymoon will be unleashed upon the world. And I'm really excited to hear it because the possibilities are absolutely endless with an individual that has so much talent to create sound on so many levels, right? Vocally, and by creating beats as well. So yeah, make sure you definitely look out for that. All right. Yes. So let's see where we're at. We're at 4:22 right now. We have a little bit of time before we get on up out of here for the afternoon. And I'm just going to run through some tracks, right? We'll definitely listen to a few more by Emmavie. If you guys were listening in and caught the first track that she's released off of Honeymoon, we've heard. It's been in the 10 drop for the past 2 weeks now, and if my memory serves me correctly, last week it was at number 2. The second track that was released 4 days ago, Distraction. That thing, y'all gotta crank that up just a little bit, and I just might play that before we roll out of here tonight because I absolutely love it. Y'all couldn't see me, but it was on in here, right? Two-step was serious. Just playing. I'm just playing. I want to send some love and blessings out to everybody that's locked in right now on iLiveRadio.com. Blessings to everybody on the iPhone and Google Play apps, to those of you on Alexa, and everybody here on Facebook Live that I can see. To Greg Beasley, I see you. And yes, you're right. We're very sonically connected, I see. Neil, I see you. Carrie and Stephen, thank you for tuning in. Palm, Mayut, Jason, and Jevret, and Coach Jack. Thank you for tuning in, Coach Jack. I got to see you soon. It's been way, way too long, all right? Let's do this thing. Let's get back into some beats. This next one that I'm going to play, this is actually a track that rolls us back to maybe my first year in Honey Drop, and this was within one of the selections that I played when we were featuring Romdeful as within the Beats Beneath featured producer slot. So this track is produced by Rom, but vocals done by the one Emmavie, and that's where we're going to start off this afternoon's last set. All right, stay locked with me. You're still tuned into Honey Drop. My name is Lucia Dee, and this is iLive Radio.
Whenever you feel like they're the one, whatever you do, let love go strong. And only be thinking in the way. Love a bit more each and every day. Oh, love them. Don't let go. Love them. Tell him you've got everything you need. And the pain's gone and love succeed. Got to be strong, keep moving on. Don't keep on loving you if you love you. Keep on loving them.
Yes, this one here out of Beats Beneath featured producer Emmavie, special guest for the afternoon out of the UK, releasing her upcoming album Honeymoon, August 22nd. Yes. You know what? I really just want to keep on sharing some of the vibe because she really does have a vast sort of just the genres that she moves between. It's pretty vast. So I want to share that with you a little bit. And I'm excited that, you know, she's expressed that within that new album that some of that is going to be there. We're going to get a feel for some of those things. This next one I'm going to play, we're going to bridge across and jump into some hip hop. Jay Prince is a MC out of the UK as well. This track here called Summer Breeze features Emmavie, and we're going to check that out. All right, this is Honey Drop, y'all.
Trees and we're feeling so good. so right. The children riding their bikes in the park, stay on until it gets dark. There ain't nothing blue but the sky. So everyone feeling nice. I am in love with this beautiful weather. It's got me excited because I really don't think that it gets much better, and I won't be mad if it does. We're just coolin', riding round the London side. Sun is shining, AJ. I love the sound. We're sitting beneath the trees, so good. I like the summer breeze. I like the summer breeze. I like the summer breeze.
I thought I'd be the answer to the truth. Get out the loop, keep it moving. Truthfully, I just be calling why these brothers be losing their mind. I'm getting mine. Summertime chilling. Sometimes I'm winning, sometimes we don't. Don't be killing my vibe, you don't get it. Don't be stealing my lines, you ain't listen. Simple rhythm and rhymes just might kill them. Summer chilling the time and fire women. I'm just living my lifetime, I did it. Yeah, I'm just a kid from the city, man. Tell me that you're with me, man. Man with a plan, I hope that you see it, man. Life's good, I guess I'm gonna get it now. Keep it spinning on them ones and twos. I tell a microphone, check 1, 2, who came through? New bro with a new flow. New school brother, but I'm here, still messing with the old school. Yeah.
We're sitting beneath the trees and we're feeling so good. I like the summer breeze. I like the summer breeze. Got me feeling so good.
Yes, this one, Jay Prince, and my Beats Beneath featured producer Emmavie with Summer Breeze. Summer Breeze. Dig that track, right? Something about the UK vibe that's a little bit different than what we get in Toronto, and I dig it. Definitely dig it. Love that compilation. Now, next one we're about to get into. In the interview, we talked about her first release was off of an album called Love Hater, and this track here is one that I dig off of that particular album. It's one called Getting Nothing. This track produced, mixed, all of that by Emmavie herself. So this one song has no other hands but her own on it. All right, check it out. The young Emmavie, Getting Nothing.
I didn't care about your cash, your money. Now when I look into your eyes, got me
Honey
thinking
drop.
like that. Funny. Now I don't wanna socialize. I didn't care about your cash, your money. Now when I look into your eyes, got me thinking like that. Funny. Now I don't wanna socialize. Remember you used to get it almost every night. Call me up whenever you want it. Now you're getting nothing. Now you're getting nothing. I just wanna make sure that you know. I just wanna make sure that you know. Now you're getting nothing. Now you're have better. Oh, you're just a guy. All you know is clothes, getting dough and telling lies. And even after all of the good that I did for you know there wasn't anything I wouldn't do. I put in all the work and all you did was make me hurt. In the studio to your favorite song, I should've known you were doing wrong. So you call me any other night. Boy, all you had to do was make it right. I'm surprised you didn't know. Think it's time to let me go. 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 Remember you used to get it almost every night. Call me up whenever you wanted it. Now you're getting nothing. Now you're getting nothing. I just wanna make sure that you know. I just wanna make sure that you know. Now you're
Hey, there you, shattered in 1,000 pieces, weeping in the darkest night. Hey, there you, trying to stand up for your own 2 feet and stumbling through the sky. Hey, you, when the lights go out and you're on your own, hey there, oh, how you gonna make it through to the morning sun? Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, lead you to the other side. Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, heaven's gonna turn the tide. Hey there you, looking for a brighter season, need to lay your burden down. Hey there you, drowning in a helpless feeling, buried under deeper ground. Hey you, when the lights go out, it's a wasting game. Hey there, oh, never gonna see a day when your world will change. Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, lead you to the other side. Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, heaven's gonna turn the tide.
Yes, this track here, this is Alpha Mist and Emmavie with a track called Sing to the Moon. Laura Mula's rework of that track. And that's a pairing as well. A few weeks back, we had the opportunity to go through Alpha Mist's new EP or album, Structuralism, and Emmavie was featured on that album as well. And definitely worth the listen. The pairing is a beautiful coming together of sound. So between the two of these, really I haven't quite heard a song with this pairing that I didn't like, right? Alpha and Emmy. Sing to the Moon on that one. So we have a little short of 20 minutes left. Bless up to everybody that's rolling through. Coach Jack, thank you for sharing. Now I got to tell y'all about Coach Jack for a second before we go forward. You know, because I have the opportunity, and it's really good to sort of share things when you can, right? Coach Jack, if y'all know, I played basketball in my younger days in Baltimore for Coppin State, and Coach Jack was clearly my coach, right? And I tell you, Coach Jack kept me fit, kept me on the baseline running, made sure I didn't duck through the bush and cheat when it was time to run our 7 miles in the morning. But the one thing that I love about Coach Jack is that he's always been one that's kept his hands very firmly planted with young African children and making sure that they have the opportunity to experience sport in a way that they can elevate and move themselves forward. And I've always had a great deal of respect for Coach Jack for continuing to do that. So he's shared with me that he's shared the feed today with his Munyama Basketball Foundation, and that he's proud of me. Thank you, Coach Jack. I love you. I really appreciate that. That feels good. And big up to Point 5 still rolling with me. I see the fire bombs there, my love. Point 5 as well is a Past Beats Beneath featured producer. And this is another, I'm just going to throw plugs out there as I see him. But Point 5 is definitely an individual that you should follow as well. He does his music on a handheld device, be it a tablet or a phone. And the creations that he's making with that one device, I'm telling you, slap. All right? I share them rather often. If you haven't caught up with him yet, definitely do that. SoundCloud, Bandcamp, I believe as well. But Point 5 XL, really, really dope producer as well. Thank you for locking in and tuning in. I see one of my colleagues as well, Jared. Thank you for locking in as well. Oh, you're going back. Jared listened to Aretha Franklin and going back into some rare groove. That's how you got to do it. That's what music is all about, right? So it has to go sometimes. So before we roll out of here, I want to definitely send a shout out to everybody that came through the Soul Fest Lounge last night. It was a really, really busy night in the city, so it was definitely dope to see the place full of bodies enjoying themselves and just soaking up the sounds that Ray Robinson had to offer. Make sure that you look out for his new album that's coming out very soon, Loading, Please Wait. Already getting a lot of burn throughout the UK circuit with his tracks. In the Mood was the first one that came out of that, presented by iLive Music, and his latest EP, Shampoo, that was beautifully remixed by J Soul, and that thing is it's a vibe. That's how it is. It's a vibe. Definitely, it's a vibe. You got to be holding someone close for that one, and let them shampoo your hair. Right? Yes. All right. Now, with our last 20 minutes, I definitely do want to roll through a few of these tracks. Some of the new ones from the 10 drop last week that I really dig. And I have a few brand new songs that I want to roll out to you before we get out of here. You know I always have to, right? So the first track that I want to pull out of the grouping that I played last week, I can't play Emmavie again. She was in number 2 last week for sure. But where I do want to start off is a track that was released Saturday by Planet Self and Daniel Crawford with Blum Rum 13 in it as well. This song I absolutely dig. Brand new in the 10 drop, and I'm going to share it with you all now. All right, stay locked with me. We got a couple minutes left. We're gonna try and sweeten it out before we roll out of here, and then we roll into our week happily and sonically satisfied. All right, so we do it. I lied to you. I'm not going to play that Daniel Crawford track because it's not coming up because technology is kicking me in the face right now. But what I am going to play, actually, which is even more wonderful, is the brand new Zoe track. Last week, this one came in at number 1. I was going to play a little towards the end of the night, but you know what? Why not right now? Because I am smiling, and I'd love to continue smiling. So we may as well do that with Zoe and Devin Morrison. This track, brand new, and coming off of his upcoming EP, Forefront. Stay locked, y'all. This is Lucia Dee on iLive Radio.
Hey, shawty, how can I make you smile? Frankly, it's been a while since these eyes of mine have seen those pretty, pretty white. since I've seen your face. Baby, won't you come my way? Hey, darling, how can I make you mine? How can I spend more time with you? Hey, just tell me what I gotta do. Just tell me what I gotta do. Just tell me. Break it down.
This one here, brand new by Zoe, featuring Devin Morrison with Smile off of the upcoming Forefront album, and definitely eagerly anticipating the release of that one. This next track that I'm going to play for y'all. Oh, this breakdown though, right? Yes, yes.
Can I see you tonight?
Yes, Lord, that's a big, big, big tune, man. Devin Morrison, that voice. But new track that just released yesterday, as a matter of fact. This one also featuring Devin Morrison, or by Devin Morrison, featuring Tommy Strong and Fitz Ambrose. And brand new track just released, and I'm going to drop it on y'all because that's what I like to do. All right. This is Devin Morrison, Fitz, on Honey Drop.
Drop a little tease, well, you know exactly where I went. Why not do my day again? Personal, it's just what it is. You ask too many questions, like who, what, where, and why, how I make my ends. I thought that your business, you sound good, they know what I do, they know I do it good, but when I don't repeat myself, they say I'm Hollywood. I'm always on the scene. I got enough to eat. I only need the recipe for making me believe. You know exactly where I work. So good on my face. When I talk, tell you again. You know
Yes, brand new Devin Morrison. That one, Tommy Strong with Fitz Ambrose. Big tune. You know what I recognize and I realize, and I don't know if you guys are catching that vibe as well, but there is a resurgence of that old thick R&B sound, and I'm absolutely loving it. I think Devin Morrison, when he released Bussin' a month or two ago, was instrumental in really kicking that sound back into the forefront. So it's very refreshing to continue to hear that. Even Emmavie herself, in her first release off of Honeymoon has that same kind of 90s vibe as well that I'm digging. But we're going to get into another new one. This track here was the one I was trying to get to before. This is Planet Self with Daniel Crawford and Blumrum 13 with The Chosen. Stay locked, y'all. This is Honey Drop.
Children of creation, a birthright since the first light. Play by day, asleep by night, a first vice. If it works right, imagine the stars illuminate the heaven in our hearts. Seven-sided thoughts, rebels with the cause, repel evil because we excel with the love. That's why they try to take it from us. What God creates, the devil gon' take. Cause nothing is even his for real. Even the material that is needed to build is forged from the other elements and will instill. In his arrogance and ego, he claims the right to will your life on your behalf. And in spite of your perseverance and skill, needed the proper deal with spiritual property chill. Cause I know for some it's like doubling up on condoms. It's hard to feel, but the war's between good and evil, nothing more, nothing less. Avoid the stress, blessed be the method of the chosen. Yes.
Honey Drop.
Brand new Planet Self. This one featuring Daniel Crawford and Blumrum 13, track called The Chosen. The Chosen. Really, really dig that tune. Up next, we're going to roll this one back. I've got 7 minutes, so I'm going to roll it back to my Beats Beneath featured producer and special guest of the evening, Emmavie. This track here, this is Alpha and Emmavie once more. This one called No Need to Wait. Let's go, y'all. This is Honey Drop on iLive Radio.
I know that you've heard it all, and it all falls down. But let me bring change. Just one call is all it would take. Oh, baby. I know it's bold of me to say, but it's been long enough, and I don't want time to come between us. You're all that I want. how easy this can be, loving you endlessly. Maybe in time you'll see that there's just so many ways. So many ways. I wanted to know your love. Your love. You love, there's great things to come. So many pause to take, to face. No need to wait. Me, you love, there's great things to come. So many pause to take, to face. No need to wait. All right, y'all. We are rounding up to the end of our time here together this afternoon. And I want to send a big thank you to everybody that's been locked in today. Big afternoon getting to sit and listen and get to know Emmavie and her sort of the artistry and the thought and the process behind the music that we listen to here, definitely listen to here on Honey Drop, but also that I just basically bump in the truck. All right. Make sure that you seek out and you follow her. Definitely on SoundCloud, also on Spotify, where you can just get a full playlist that is really well curated. Reach out, support, pre-order the upcoming album Honeymoon, coming out on August 22nd, and definitely go and check out the 2 tracks that have been released thus far. All right, High Off This and Distraction. Last track I'm gonna roll out of here with. I spoke about her diversity quite a bit as we chatted, and that's one of the things that I like about her the most. This last track that I'm going to play here is one that she did with Emmavie, who's an individual that I featured well over 2 years ago. I believe one of the first Beats Beneath featured producers I did. This last track here is an example of how broad her wings can really fly as far as genre, style, and sonic enjoyment. All right, this is Emmavie and my Beats Beneath feature producer, special guest Emmavie. Make sure y'all stay safe this week. Make sure y'all are kind to one another this week. More importantly, make sure you tune in to iLive Radio. Peace and blessings.
Honey Drop. Honey Drop.